Happy Friday, you all. I have a story that I want to share with you today. A story that is going to just warm your heart and encourage you. And it's just, you need to hear the story. I've been sitting on this story for about a couple of days now. And have you ever had an experience or had something take place in your life where you just kind of recount all the things that happen, all the details, and you're just in awe and disbelief of how the hand of God worked? And I want to share with you how God, it's just as confirmation, how He works in advance, and it's the smallest minute details that you may have played a part in that you did not know that you were part of His provision in this plan. So several weeks ago, a friend of mine, and I'm going to change small details of the story just to protect the names of the people that I'm sharing. I do have their permission to share, but I don't want to use their names. And so about 3 weeks ago, a friend of mine who used to sell jewelry a long while back, she said, "I'm going to get rid of all this jewelry. Would you like to go through it?" Well, you know how I love jewelry, and yes. I said, "Sure." And so I said, "You want to just stop by?" She goes, "No, I don't think you understand. There's like 2 suitcases full of jewelry." And so I said, "Okay." So she drops the suitcases off, and I'm in awe going through all this jewelry. I share it with my friends. I share it with family members. I had one lady took it to her house, to her family, and then another friend took it to her house, and then they took it to their work. And these 2 suitcases traveled all over the local area, and people buying pieces of jewelry. She discounted it really, really low, and so it just kept passing around. So 3 weeks passed, and finally I got it back, and almost all of the jewelry was sold except a little bit that was still in part of the suitcase. So I was telling the lady that, I've got all this, and everybody bought your jewelry. There was like $450 that she had got that she was not even planning on, and she was that was awesome, she thought. So the day that I was going to meet her to give her jewelry, what was left, and her money back, I had another friend reach out to me, and she had a very devastating financial situation happen, very devastating to her, and I could just hear, I was freaking out, thinking, I don't know, how are you going to get through this? What do we need to do? And in my mind, I'm just thinking. And this other friend of mine is such a wonderful testimony to God and Christ, and a believer in Him, and this person's faith, and she's just amazing. And as is my other friend, who was also giving me the jewelry to sell. And I get emotional about this because I want you to know that you may be doing something or taking part in something that you don't even know how God is using you to intervene in some kind of way to make a provision for someone else. So this friend that was having this financial situation that came out of nowhere, not expected, not anything due to what she did, she was really devastated. And I'm really getting stressed when she's talking to me, and she says, "Calm down." She said, "It's okay. Everything happens for a reason." Now, I want to share with you about the way she handled this situation that was devastating. She said, "It'll be okay. Everything happens for a reason," with a smile on her face. I mean, I think I'm more distraught than she is. And I know the power of God, and I know how He has provided for me over and over again. But just her faith and her saying, "It'll be okay. It's okay. Don't worry about it. Everything happens for a reason. It will work out." So I'm on the phone, or I'm talking to my other friend after this friend and I had this conversation. And I was like, "You're not going to believe, it's a mutual friend of ours." And I said, "I'm just really stressed about what she's going through. And this is just, well, what does the friend who gave me the jewelry to sell say? Just tell her to meet us at your car where I'm going to pick up the jewelry, and let's just give her that money. Just give her all that money." I said, Are you kidding me?" She goes, "Absolutely. This wasn't something I was planning on anyway. This is what we're going to do." Well, so I had messaged the girl and told her, I said, "I'm going to be, can you just meet me? Can you meet me here?" So we all 3 met up, and we were just having this conversation. This girl had no idea what was about to take place. And I am just standing here in awe thinking, I'm so excited because I want to see her face when this other friend freely gives something away, and with just such a heart, selfless heart, to just give this away. And I'm so excited, like this kid watching, waiting. I want to see what's going to take place. And of course, I knew what would happen. This friend of ours, she just broke down in tears, and she just didn't know what to say. And it was just so wonderful to be a part of such obedience in my one friend, such selflessness, and the faith of the girl who went through this devastation, that she knew it was going to be okay. And here's what I want to say to all of you who may have had your hands on that suitcase, or had your hands on that jewelry, or bought a piece of jewelry. God knew way in advance, 3 weeks in advance, that this friend of mine was going to be in need of something. It's not coincidence that my other friend asked me if I wanted to look at the jewelry, that it traveled all over Johnson County for 3 weeks. And I'm just in awe when I think about that little traveling suitcase of jewelry going around from home to home and friend to friend, and people just collecting and buying pieces. You have no idea, if one of you are out there and you bought a piece of that jewelry, you were part of his plan. You were part of his plan. So my message to you today is to encourage you. God is Jehovah Jireh. He will meet your needs. And here's the best part of it all. He knows 3 weeks in advance when you're going to be in need. That's why he uses people, me and you and other people, to be involved. I had so much fun telling people that I had all this jewelry to sell, and it was such a great deal. I was excited to see people get excited, and just to think about all the homes and the different locations that those 2 suitcases of jewelry traveled to, and how God knew he used one need to meet another need to meet another need. And I just want to praise him this morning. I want to give him all the glory for that. I didn't really have a part in it, but just to watch someone selflessly give somebody that kind of money, and just to see the look on that person's face, that she never lost faith and she never lost hope, even as bleak as it looked. And I just want you to be encouraged today. I want you to be encouraged because God knows in advance what your needs are going to be. He's already working on meeting them. The other thing I want to tell you is you may be part of meeting someone else's needs. And I say this to you in that you may not even know it, or you may be the giver. And I want you to think about what he says in Scripture. Obedience is greater than sacrifice to God. And I want you to just think about the giver of this story, the girl who had the faith in this story, and how God used so many people that doesn't even know the 2 of my friends to put this together, to provide for someone in need at the very moment that they needed it. And I think that God always shows up on time. We know that he shows up on time, but this was just... I just can't even tell you what this meant to me, to replay everything in my mind, how everything all worked together, how that we kept missing each other about connecting, for me to give her jewelry back to her, to get the money to her, until that one day, to the same day that the devastation took place, I was meeting the girl to give her jewelry back and to give her her money, that we were able to help a friend in need. I was a bystander in this, and I was able to see the hand of God move. So my message to you today is be encouraged. 3 weeks in advance, God knows what your needs is, and he is working on getting them provided right now. Number 2, think about where you are in this circumstance. Are you part of the plan? Are you going to be the one that's giver? Are you just an innocent bystander that's actually taking part in providing for someone? So today I want to give him all the praise, all the honor, and all the glory that he deserves. And he has just, overwhelmed my heart with joy to see. It's been an encouragement to me. He has always shown up for me. He has always been on time, and his provision is always perfect. But being on this side of watching the provision take place, watching the mighty unseen hand of God, that righteous, strong right arm, and the girl's faith and the selfless willingness to give, it was just a beautiful story. And I wanted to share that with you on this Friday morning. I want you to be encouraged. I want you to just realize, if you are in a situation and if you are worried and fretting, do not do that. Do not give the enemy the opportunity to steal the joy that God is about to provide for you in a miraculous way. I hope you guys have an amazing weekend and an amazing Friday, and I hope that you are encouraged. Share this story with other people to give people hope, to know that God's timing is right on. He is working in advance to make provisions for you and for me, and that is shouting ground.